Extended L, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those who do not feel represented by an oppressive gender binary. Hello and welcome. It's me. It's September. How you doing? Are you having a good day? Are you getting enough to eat? I worry about you sometimes. Um, yeah. Uh, I don't have an awful lot of preamble to go into before we just jump into the game. Aside the content warning stuff, we're going to be playing more Kentucky Route Zero. I should shout out the song, although I try to always put it in the description box. It's more Echo Slightly. It's Third Way by Echo Slightly. I found out Echo Slightly from like a podcast. Does it matter if I shout out this podcast? It doesn't exist anymore, and you can't find it anywhere. So I guess not. It was like yeah, no. Then if I have no information to hand you, then I guess I shouldn't even start talking. Uh, it's a good album. I'm glad I came across it. It's something that I come back to every now and again. Uh, I'm probably going to say something like that at the beginning of all of these streams. So here we are. Hey, content warnings for Kentucky Route Zero. Kentucky Route Zero is a video game about debt and death, capitalism and alcoholism, uh, a whole bunch of shit. It can get really fucking rough at times. And I think near the end of this I think near the end of this act is where it starts getting quite rough. Although I might be thinking of Act Four. Uh, Regardless, there are hard times ahead, and so please keep yourself safe. I will do my best to give content warnings as we go along. Those are for the game. For myself, I am a strange person. I occasionally make jokes about weird sex or talk about my trauma. I'll try to warn you if I'm going to do that thing. I think that's everything. Let's play Kentucky Route Zero. Over. No. Close Firefox. Double click Kentucky Route Zero. For the second so that it kicks up. There we go. WEVP TV presents. I wonder what those dots are. They're on screen for a while. I presume there must be some sort of meaning behind them, but I don't know what it is. Let us continue where we left off. Last time, we played Act 2, where Conway and Shannon, where Conway and Shannon took their first trip on the Zero, got fucked around a little bit by the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces. That's what it's called. Uh, and eventually hitched a ride with Ezra and Julian. Ezra being a young boy and Julian being a massive eagle, to a forest where they finally ran into a doctor that can help fix Conway's leg. Conway's leg was crushed in a mining incident back in Act One. And we left off Act Three with Conway in the doctor's office under sedation, and so presumably is there right now until we hit play. And then there was the play, the entertainment, which I feel like I can't describe usefully. We did 3 plays at once and also looked at reviews and stage notes. I suggest going looking at that bit if you've not seen any other bit of this. It's fun and it sort of stands on its own. But let's jump into Act 3. A picture of a scene of two people sitting at a table. On the left is Conway. I don't know who that is on the right. Radio announcer. 83 and sunny now. Looks like it's going to get up to about 101 by late afternoon in Louisville and 103 in Eatown. Not a cloud in sight, so get out those parasols. Major accident just ahead of the Bardstown exit, so if you're headed to work on 31, you are late, my friend. This is Lisette, Conway's boss, I think. Sugar? Just a little. I forgot how you take your coffee. I'm tired. I didn't sleep well. I heard you yelling. Bad dreams? We were up on a roof, Ira and I and Charlie, eating a light supper. I was drinking sweet tea. Charlie was reading. We were surrounded by the other houses, closely packed, huge sidewalks. Must have been a, what's the word? City. Yeah, that's it, I'm sure. Below us, a group of people were gathered, standing quietly. A man was reading from a book. I asked Ira about the weather, would it rain on Tuesday, or when the sun would set, something like that. He wouldn't answer me. When Charlie stood up, and Ira told him to watch his step, and then I remembered. I woke up before I could stop him. Charlie was alone on that roof. Yeah, I guess he was. He was so bright. His teacher said, what was the word? Imaginative. Yeah, that's it. How could I forget? It wasn't his fault. It wasn't anyone's fault, Conway. That's what we mean when we say it's oof. Conway's choices are an accident, a tragedy, or a shame. I feel like Conway is a little understated. Let's go with an accident. Sure. Well, we have a mail order delivery today. Might be a long drive. I hope the truck can hold up. Yeah, that truck will outlive us all. Yeah, I hope you're right. I'm glad you'll keep it. I would have wanted you to have it. It's been running since Charlie was born. Ira took me to the hospital in that truck. So did you once. Your knee or when you fainted? Your knee. My new knee. Plastic. It'll be like a souvenir. So, long drive? They said they couldn't come in person. Maybe just a shut-in. I don't recognize the address. The order's all... I'm sure we can fill it. Not much left back there. That's good. Wouldn't want a disused Pile Antiques to be my... what's the word? Legacy, Chronicle, or Junk. Let's go with Legacy. Maybe. No, that's not the word. I just need to think a bit. More coffee or something. Or I've had too much. It'll come to you. Maybe. I'm not so sure anymore. Seems inevitable will start to be words that'll lose forever. What are those boxes you set in the hallway? Charlie's old books or your old clothes? Those are Charlie's old books. Oh. I thought we could look them together. That sounds nice. Cora should be here soon. You wait with me? Sure, Liz, I'll wait with you. There's your traffic and weather on the 5s. That's every 10 minutes brought to you by the Consolidated Power Company. Stick around for Old Kentucky Home with Kate helping you turn your humble home into a mansion after this. The light, the whole background of the thing disappears, leaving Conway alone at a table. Yep, there it is. We pull out farther to see Conway is surrounded by Shannon, Ezra, the doctor whose name escapes me, and Blue the dog. His leg is now a wireframe skeleton of a leg in orange. Dr. Truman. But that's only if you make a late payment on a follow-up visit. I think everything went well enough here that they'll only want the bill for. Oh, he's awake. How do you feel, old man? All fixed up? Truman says you might be a bit misty coming out of it, so. I was dreaming. What time is it? I feel fine. I feel fine. Good. How about that leg? How's your leg feeling? Yeah, that's the important part. Conway shifts his leg a bit in the chair, testing it. Well? This isn't my leg. It seems better, but it wasn't worth it. Or, presumably talking about the accident we just heard about. It was the heat. The shingles were cracked under the sun and one of them slipped out under his feet. This isn't my leg. Not your... Of course it's your leg. I'm going to click that second one because it is possibly my favorite line in this game. It looks wrong, you replaced it because it looks like an orange skeletal wireframe, or it doesn't feel like it belongs to me anymore. Huh. Haven't encountered this. Try that again. Huh. I haven't encountered this reaction before, but it's not totally unheard of. I read a paper about something like this last year. It can happen for a lot of reasons. Neurological, psychological, social. I'm sure it won't persist in your case. Your thoughts and feelings are probably still a little nebulous from the Neuropnol TM. That's totally normal. It'll pass. I wouldn't recommend driving, at least for another hour or two, regardless. Thank you, Doctor. Sure. Let's talk about a few things you should be aware of: recovery, rehabilitation, and side effects. How long am I going to be recovering? Well, at your age, I want to be clear, you should expect lingering effects of the injury for more or less the rest of your life. Don't immerse it fully in water. Avoid extremes of temperature. I'd stay away from dusty roads and mountain lions as much as possible. Mountain lions. I mean, it's good advice in any context. The best thing you can do is keep it clean and free of debris. What do I clean it with? Only clean your leg with a soft cloth, moistened with water or isopropyl alcohol. You'll definitely want to avoid abrasive agents like detergents or other solvents. So, do you have any questions? Anything about the bill that didn't make sense? I don't mean to rush you, but I have an early fishing trip. Tell them about the payment plan in the bill, says Shannon or Conway. I don't want to think about the bill right now. Or what are you fishing for? What are you fishing for? Oh, just out on the lake, stripers, maybe. Gotta keep those wrists and elbows limber, you know? Oh, one more thing. Don't be alarmed if you experience any side effects of the Neuropnol TM. Typically, we see daydreaming, deja vu, pensiveness, fugue states, irregular perception of time, and about 15% of people report a generalized sensation of lateness. It's nothing to be alarmed about, just keep it in mind. Thanks for your help. Julian's outside. We can head back to your truck. Oh, right. They would have left their truck back at the museum. Because they came here again in the talons of an eagle. Act 3, Scene 1. Again, back at the Museum of Dwellings. Which we are outside of. How are the drugs treating you? Feel a little distracted. Street lights seem brighter. I don't like to take medicine. Street lights seem a bit brighter. Oh, like trails and tracers? Or something like that. My mom used to get that. She had migraines. My folks had a peculiar relationship with medicine. We almost never had a regular doctor or health insurance or anything like that. Our immigration stuff was a mess for most of my childhood, so we only qualified for state programs in small patches before some or other would get contested, and we learned to just pile on dentist appointments and stuff in those short windows. If a cut got infected on her migraine, if a cut got infected or her migraines were too much to handle, mom would talk to so-and-so who knew so-and-so, usually another minor, and end up with some pills. And instead of medical advice, every pill came with gossipy anecdotal warnings and superstitions. Like all this lore that came with it. Like magic, dangerous, mysterious. Weaver folks couldn't help. Yeah, they had pretty good health care through the university for a while there. A couple times they'd swing something so I got a bit of whatever Weaver needed. In high school, Weaver got these pills to help her focus. And she was so smart, but she was always going off in different directions, mind racing, like 5 conversations going on in her head at once, and you're lucky if even one of them is with someone in the room. You know. So she had these pills, and they seemed to help. I was struggling in school too, failing my history class. She offered to share the pills. Did it help? At first, yeah. It helped a lot. Had a kind presence and clarity of purpose that I've never really had otherwise. I didn't want to stop taking them. One day I was sitting on my bed and my notebook was open next to me on top of the textbook, and I was holding a pen in my hand. I remember this moment from several years before. It came up so suddenly with such precision. I couldn't put it out of my mind. I thought I had to stay with it until I recalled the whole thing perfectly. It was just a tiny nothing moment. My mom patching up the side of a bird cage, winding some spare wire around the frame to reinforce it. I was fixated on that image, the sound. The cage kind of bending and twanging as she worked on it, and scraping copper against paint like bowing a rubber violin with a railroad tie. My parents came back from the triple shift and found me still sitting there on the edge of the bed, pen in my hand, delirious with thirst, patching that bird cage with a 1,000-yard stare. We can also speak to Blue. Blue presumably won't speak back. Ezra's here. Conway isn't particularly interested in talking to Ezra, I guess. Yes, the rain stopped. Or you get some rest back there? The doctor seemed nice enough. Yeah, I'm sure he does an okay job. Is there anything else of interest in the parking lots? We can go quite a long way, but not all the way. There's a. I was about to say there's an invisible wall, but it's not that. Conway just is not interested in. Uh, Apparently not interested in moving much further past this line of cars. Ezra has decided to follow us and is just splashing about in random puddles. Oh, we've apparently gone south enough and but are now controlling Ezra with our pointer. I want to describe this before I go talk to this other person over here. Uh, so there was a rainstorm, a massive rainstorm, the last time we were at the museum, and now the rain is over, but um, the entire parking lot is not flooded, but has water all over the top of it, and it's night out, and it is what we are seeing is like a perfect reflection of the stars with the occasional concrete median of the lampposts that Ezra is just sort of walking on with puddle splash effects. Also, the beautiful and like really too close moon. That's massive. This is Flora. Oh, Flora was the one living in the cabin. Are those people like your new family? I think we're friends. I don't have any friends because I'm so busy. It's too bad it's not raining anymore. You like the rain? Yeah, I'm an excellent swimmer. So what's the boat for? She had an origami boat that she had placed on the water at the edge of the uh, parking lot. I folded out some paper from the front desk. How far do you think it'll go? We just stand here and watch it until it disappears over the horizon with a far-off look in our eyes. I lean my head on your shoulder, and right when it's a tiny speck, just before it vanishes, you'll say something romantic. Okay. Well, better get started. The origami boat is slowly moving away from us towards the edge of the screen that we can't move past. Because I do not intend to make a liar out of Ezra, we are just going to sit here for a little while watching it drift into the distance. But he's not going to say anything romantic because I think he just doesn't know how. I think the first time I did that, I got an achievement. My first time playing through this game. Let's move back north a little ways. Yep, we've come north enough that we're back to moving Conway around. But I don't think there's anything else here for us, so let's hop in the... Oh, that's Julian. I was like, that's a really fucking big bird. And it's like, oh, right. It's Julian, that massive bird that I was talking about previously. Let's get in the truck. So, what's the plan here? Head back to the Zero, I guess. We should try to get in touch with that clerk. I could use a bite to eat. What do you think? What do you think? Well, we gotta get back on the Zero and bring these documents back to the clerk of the Bureau. I'm not sure how to get there. The entrance of the farmhouse was gone. Let's ask at the gas station if he knows another route. Sure, okay, worth a shot. They move on. We are back on the road map. Equisoils is just over there, right? It's the one that looks like it's the one with the big horse on the road map. The truck's engine sputters and dies as Conway guides it carefully off the road next to a fallen tree. Act 3, Scene 2. A tree. It is indeed a tree, apparently wrapped around by power lines. Ezra has decided to go sit in one of the limbs because obviously all we can interact with is the truck. Nothing to be done? Can you take a look at it? I mean, I guess I could look around in there, but I don't know a damn thing about engines. Wait, is this why you always leave your truck running? Lestats is up on a hill, so yeah, I get the picture. Anyway, do you know this area? Anyone around here that could give us a hand? I drove past here yesterday. Huh? We're reading it out here yesterday. What was I doing out here yesterday? That's what I asked you. I saw two strangers by the road. Give them a ride or something? I offered to, but they wouldn't take it. That's thoughtful of you. Hey, we should call someone. You know a good towing company? Lucky Boot Collision and Towing. Here's their card. I found this card for Mercadet? Mercedes. M-E-R, M-E-R-C-A-D-E-T. Wreck Recovery on the dash. Can't read the name or number on this flyer, but it looks like a picture of a tow truck. Found this card for Mercadet Recovery on the dash. Mercadet. Alright. I'll give him a call. Hope I can get a signal out here. Shannon speaks into the large brick cell phone held up to her ear. Hi, hello. We've got an old, I want to say diesel, old truck just stalled out. We are choosing the dialogue of the phone. Inaudible but irritable, inaudible but sleepy, inaudible but confused. Inaudible but confused. This is Mercadet Rent Recovery, right? A friend gave me your card, open 23 hours a day. Accusatory, inquisitive, suspicious. Suspicious. Yeah, we have a car. I mean, it's a truck. We're broken down by the side of the road. That's why I'm calling. Apologetic, forceful, or obtuse. Apologetic. No, it's okay. We just need to get an auto shop and get this taken care of. Wistful, maudlin, or concerned. Let's go with maudlin just because it's a fun word. Are you? Is it a bad time? Pragmatic, meticulous, or neighborly. Pragmatic. Right, yeah, thanks. Okay, it's, where are we? We're out off 65, just kind of pulled up by this tree that fell over. Placating, specific, tangential. Tangential. Okay, well, I don't know any of those people, but that does sound like the right area. You've been over here before? Dismissive, indulgent, or assertive? Indulgent. Okay, my pleasure. How long do you think you'll be? Silence, radio music, distant traffic sounds. Hello? Here is Conway and Ezra. You bored? Are you? Yeah, most of the time. Let's play a game. What do you want to play? We can tell the future with this little tree branch. It's pretty easy. We just break off all the little sticks on each section and count through the different things that could happen. Okay, what should we ask? Because it should be about you. I can't do both the count out and the questions. What kind of bed will I sleep in tonight? What kind of job will I have next? Where will I travel in the future? What kind of job will I have next? Ezra snaps the smaller branches away one at a time, counting out the possibilities. Doctor, lawyer, taxman, driver. Driver. Okay, what else? What kind of bed will I sleep in tonight? King size, queen size, twin size, bunk. Bunk. These other branches are too bare. Don't worry about it too much. It's just a bunch of sticks. How about you, Blue? How long do you think we'll be waiting here? I don't mind. I got a lot to think about. I guess I always do. I'm a thinker, alright. and back over to Shannon now that she's off the phone. I think they're on their way. I guess we have some time to kill. You look over the road map again. I stared at that thing too long already. Where'd you get that old map anyway? It's just always been in the truck. Huh. Someone must have grabbed it at a gas station somewhere along the line. Maybe they threw it in the glove box at the dealership. When my parents brought their first car here, it came with a map. I used to sit in the back and pore over it. Aunt Remedia saw me looking at it, I guess, and a couple days later she gave me a map she brought from Colombia. It looked almost hand-painted. It's deep, vibrant colors and rough borderlines like anxious brushstrokes. Really pretty. I slowly traced the coastline with my finger like I was walking on the beach and say, here we'll swim, and here we'll start a fire, and here we'll find a cave-in the cliff face and go live among the bats for a while. Uh, I think I'll take a look at that radio of yours. Maybe I can get it going again. No point just standing around. That thing's been broken for years. So, we'll get to find out what station you had it tuned to when it went out. A snapshot of a younger man's taste. You remember what it was? Well, some college station. Well, I'm sure we'll find some to listen to on the road. There is no one to speak to, so we cut suddenly to a motorcycle with a sidecar. The two people in it can apparently talk about the sky or the trees. Let's talk about the sky. This is Johnny and Junebug. Johnny, where are we staying tonight? Junebug. Some closet at the bar, I guess. Harry Esperanza's 4-star room closet experience. Maybe it'd be nice to stay outside one of these nights, power down just enough to rest, keep an eye on the stars, be there when the birds wake up. Short circuits, capacitors popping in the morning dew. Yeah, you're right. How far out are we? Oh, I don't know, 20 minutes? Yeah. Harry's not gonna be happy. You know he doesn't like me anyway. Not tell him you have to get the drain pipe on tape. No, he won't appreciate that, but man, the way those raindrops boom down that thing. I got at least 30 minutes of it. Hey, yeah, didn't you play on this record? This is Dee Dee's record. Oh yeah, Dee Dee! Dee, that guy's out of control. We should do a set with him. He's a creep. Yeah, that creep can play though. What time is it? You've got a timing circuit. Yeah, but yours is more accurate. Harry's gonna flip out. That old man was born flipped. I just hope we can scrape up some tips. Hard enough when you get there on time. I'll make sure if Harry plays up. I got away with him. Yeah, I know. They pass by our other group in a quick flash, and now back to the road. You know, we're already late. Yeah, so we better keep moving. I just mean, what's another few minutes? Fine, just for a few minutes though. You're the best. And hey, maybe if they're not busy, they can fill some seats at the gig. You know, if no one's there, Harry will try and bilk us on our fee. Back with Conway and the folks. Ezra, was that him? That was a motorcycle. Merceda has a big truck. Yeah, they're too fast for a truck. I bet they're getting chased or something. Maybe they just have somewhere important to be. They're definitely getting chased by something. but they have come back. Junebug to Johnny. Stay here. To Ezra. Careful, he's wicked with strangers. Heh, you, Conway, Shannon, or Ezra. Conway, you didn't have to stop. We've got a tow coming. Shannon, you here to clear the tree? Ezra, who's chasing you? Let's let Ezra pipe up. Who's chasing you? You hear that, Cricket? We're being pursued. Oh, I knew it. Who's after us? Oh, that's a good question. These folks seem to have a certain handle on the situation. So, dinosaurs. Sure, something like that. Listen, we got two questions for you folks. One, what kind of people do you take us for? I mean, how do we strike you? Conway, you seem nice enough. Not sure I follow. Or Ezra continuing his thought, probably from space. You seem nice enough. What do you think, Cricket? Our generosity is unmistakable, ma'am. It radiates. It does radiate. Now, here's another question for you. Do you like music? Do you like music? Shannon, sometimes I like to leave the radio dial between stations. Shannon begins speaking, says, of course you do. Say, they should come to our gig. Yeah, what an idea. Well, we're waiting for a tow. A tow. I won't hear of it. This time of night, you'll be kicking your heels till dawn. We'll fix your truck up. Me and Johnny are a couple regular gearheads. Well, I just put a new cylinder block in this baby over here. We are now naming Junebug and Johnny's motorcycle, which is either the Weird Vector, the Sloth on Wheels, or the Vicious Cycle. I like the Weird Vector. I like the Vicious Cycle too, but the Weird Vector. That's what we call our bike. We call it the Weird Vector. Because the front wheel's a little loose, we'll get you fixed up quick so you can come to the gig. See, we have a regular booking tonight, and, well, we're running late, really late. And that's what I told them. Now, the old man who runs this venue, Harry Esperanza, he's a notorious withholder. And if we don't get a few bodies in the crowd, he'll get all penny pinching on us. Just a short set. We only have one song prepared. You'll come to the gig, right? Shannon, we don't really have time. Beginning, Junebug, of course they will. Can you believe? We almost didn't stop. Johnny to Blue. You hungry, old lady? I think I got a crust on the sidecar here. After all, it's so late. I mean, it's all said and done. We stopped. That's all that matters. Our gig's at the old tavern called the Lower Depths. It's over there by Charles Moran Highway. It's just off 65. We usually take a right off the interstate around the arcade. Johnny likes the arcade. Man, that place. I just put fresh batteries in my field recorder. Well, now let's see what that truck here is. I feel certain we can get it running. We can see a gear where the truck apparently has fallen down. Oh, no, hang on. There it is. We are still this truck. And the gear is apparently the, what was it, Weird Vector behind us. Oh, no, wait, we have to follow you. Because you know where you're going to the gig, and we don't. I was probably given instructions that I didn't. Lower depths. Just east off 65, take a right off 65 around the arcade. Oh, okay, so we are meant to be on the highway portion. Okay, that's why that's like that. Get back on the highway. Get your motor run. There's the arcade. we stop at a tavern. Act 3, a scene 3. The lower depths. Hard times served, says the sign outside. Let's have a chat with Blue real quick. Doesn't feel right, or feels a little like home, huh? Doesn't feel right. Like a deep pit. Like a snare. Kind of late. Are you sure they're open? Sure they're open. This is one of those places. Let's head on in. We are not saints, but we've kept our appointment. How many people can boast as much? Oh, that's lovely, ma'am. Who said it? A poet. I think this is the first, like, good close look we get at Junebug and Johnny. They're wearing motorcycle jackets and uh, have. I'm I'm trying to find a way to phrase this. Junebug's hair is teal in a big gay swoop, and Johnny has the side cut. Conway, for all that his leg is now again a skeletal wireframe, and does seem to be moving a lot faster. Let's look at Sandwich. A rough brick between two pieces of stale bread sits in the center of the table, surrounded by a ring of undisturbed dust. Let's look at Goggles. A bulky set of black goggles sit on the edge of the table, next to an ashtray, a newspaper, and a few empty glasses. Huh. One of the... I guess... I don't know. Can I tell you a horrible secret? I never wear eye protection in the shop. I mean, it's dangerous, I know, but I'm always looking back and forth from my oscilloscope to whatever I'm working on, and the scope has this peculiar kind of hard-bordered glow that I've never found a pair of goggles or glasses that doesn't smear out that glow. At best, the lens softens everything, so you can't quite find the edges. Let's have a chat with Ezra. Ezra flips eagerly through the jukebox's catalog of songs. What do you think? I don't know how to play this game. The bartender, Harry. All I'm pouring tonight is Hard Times whiskey. Got any coffee going? No coffee. Hard Times whiskey. I don't know how well that sound is coming through, but whenever Junebug and Johnny move, they are accompanied by a squeaky mechanical noise. Harry yelling towards exit. Say, shut the goddamn door, would you? You can't afford to run the AC all night. Oh, sorry, Harry. Oh, it's you two. Where you been? Well, never mind. Listen, sorry, that's still Harry. Never mind. Listen, I can't keep this place open through the small hours of the night, just waiting for musicians. Yeah, gets lonely, doesn't it? It, yeah, kinda. Been like this all night? Everybody had to, clear out. Let's get set up, huh? There's nobody here to listen to it. I can't pay for... We brought some people, Harry. A crowd is forming. Yeah, but also, couldn't you use a break, Harry? I've been on my feet all day. But June and Johnny walk over to the stage. We're going to click this button. Conway and Shannon and Ezra are going to have a seat. And then Junebug's going to do her show. I'm going to hit this. So I'm just going to let the music speak for itself. We are given options as Junebug will be singing as to what the start of the next line should be. But I'm just going to click through them to kind of try and keep the song moving at a pace a song might. How's it looking out there? How y'all feeling tonight? Can we get a bit more reverb in the monitors? Harry adjusts a soundboard behind the bar. How's that? Test, test. 1, 1, 1, 350. Lamentation. Lamentation. Yeah, that sounds good. How's everybody doing? Anybody had a real bad night? How about you, old man? Not too bad. Well, we'll take care of that right now. This is a song I heard in the tavern many years ago at an open mic night. Me and Johnny were just out riding around. You know, we like to drive around. You like to drive around, old man? That's my job. Conway begins with that. Of course you do. So, we were out riding around and past this gaudy old tavern. I mean, it was a real dive, busted up facade, weeds in the parking lot. Yeah, taps all dry, bats in the bar room. And run by this creaky old bag of bones looked like the only thing keeping him awake was the fear of death. So glad to be back here at the lower depths. Hey now. So, we stopped for an early drink, and there was a lady singing right here on stage, and the song she sang, well, it stuck with us, and now it's just a regular part of our repertoire. Never got the lady's name, but she seemed like a real sweet gal. Had a voice like Scotch whiskey, and we just hope we do her song justice. So, here it is. Too Late to Love You. The roof slowly peels away. The lights on stage go down and come back up, and Junebug and Johnny are now in their performing gear as opposed to their road gear, which is a massive floofy dress and a sort of Devo-like jacket, respectively. Hey, I need a second. Sorry. All right. Uh, talk to Junebug. Well, I hope you liked it. Kind of sad, isn't it? I mean, kinda. Listen, we appreciate you folks sticking around for the show. There's nothing more wretched than playing sad songs in an empty room. We've I skipped through that too quick because I thought there was another line after it. She mentioned something about getting paid before going back onto the zero. Well, Harry, I think that went pretty well. I'd say the crowd was into it. Reverential. Rapt. I guess the usual fee is about right, and we'll let you get back to your, business. Well, that's just it. Damn it. I was trying to tell you two, I can't pay. They cleaned me out. I got nothing left but a GD IOU from the distillery. An IOU. Yeah, I traded them for some whiskey, and I guess I got some surplus credit, so I got this note to get some more from them later on. It must have been a hell of a trade. I had to. I got to keep this place open somehow, goddammit. Watch your language, Harry. Um, I meant to mention this. This is Harry from the play that we saw during the intermission. Could you pay them with your Could you pay them with your IOU? Well, it's just very contemporary, very astute. How about it, Harry? Let's push some paper around. Well, it's just I can collect on it here when they bring more whiskey up, but for you to cash in, you'd have to go down to, you know, down to the distillery, down to hard times, and it's you got to take the zero. Yeah, so that's what we'll do. How do we get there? Are you folks sure you want to head down there? I've never been myself, but I hear like people hear things, rumors. You know another way to Dogwood Drive? Dogwood? Got a letter, did you? I got a stack of them. Oh, okay. Sounds like the zero's your only course now. Harry, you're all right. Like from Twin Peaks. I don't think I caught that before. Yeah, if only. You got a radio in your car? Yeah? Well, here's what you got to do. Take a left out of the parking lot and just fill around with your dial until you hear something familiar, I mean, familiar but strange. You know the feeling? Like I used to go out and hunt with my uncle out in the mountains, and now I watch these nature programs. They're filmed in the mountains. There's a deer, and I know all the plants and every kind of tree, but something just doesn't look right. That's even stranger for being so close to familiar. Something like that. You'll know when you hear it. Fix that strange but familiar station on your dial, drive for a bit, and then turn around when the station cuts out. And I mean right then. I hope you folks find what you're looking for eventually. Always a pleasure, Harry. Is it? Other avenues being exhausted, Conway exits. Let's look at the arcade. Oh, the arcade is closed. Let's turn on the radio. This station doesn't quite match that bartender's description. Definitely weird, though. Let's keep scanning. He said we know when we heard it. Just crawl all the way up the AM dial. What's this station? Never heard this before. Sounds like horses running a race. Charlie and I used to go to the races sometimes. Charlie was your boss's kid, right? The one who, yeah. There must be some memories there. Now that fits familiar but strange for me. Harry said we should just drive until it cuts out. Um, we cut back to the road where they have stopped due to a bunch of horses. And they turn around. And now we're back on the zero. Ultrasound. I looked it up. Ultrasound was the word I wanted. Although I don't think that actually fits the description of what the sort of tunnel structure around the road, for lack of a better term, looks like. Can we turn the radio back on? We can. What kind of radio do we get down here? No music, which is unfortunate. I guess we just drive around until we find where we're going. Let's go counterclockwise for no adequate reason. We pass by the horses. The Hall of the Mountain King, where we can apparently stop. Why wouldn't we? Act 3, Scene 4. Hall of the Mountain King. Let's chat with Blue real quick. What do you suppose happened here? Some kind of storm washed away? I don't see much weather down here, though. We are parked on a bridge surrounded by... I'm going to charitably call what these things are. Like, they're stalactites in that they're stone structures coming out of the ground, but they look very clearly carved in a series of arrows. Let's have a look at the bridge. The bridge ends abruptly, crumbling in disrepair. Let's speak to Johnny before we head up to the boardwalk. Is it time to cut him loose, ma'am? Well, now I'm having fun. Alright, it's a slow night anyway. Let us then head up to the boardwalk. By boardwalk, I of course mean a series of boards lifted into the air on stilts. Sticks? Stilts. Sticks or stilts? Rope. There is rope here. A loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with a fine dust. Over here, there is a stack of computers. Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. There is an open pet carrier. A pet carrier for a cat or small dog has been left by the path. A calcified rag wadded in the corner may once have been a blanket. There is a backpack. There's also a massive fire in the background now that we're near to the top of the boardwalk. It looks like it's in control, but it is very large. A hiking backpack leans against a rock. It's empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. There's also a person standing on a sort of overlook to the boardwalk on the left. There's another person back in the back of these caves. But all we can look at the moment is the fire, much like in real life. So, a pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber. Let's go speak to the person on the overlook who is called Amy. Oh, it's triangles within triangles down here, shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. Amy to Shannon. You're here to seal back the love of a boy you once knew when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. To Conway. And you're escorting her, pretending to have her interests at heart while really... To Junebug. Really, you're in love with the young woman as well, and you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections, but it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment and diminish him out of the picture. Shannon, what are you talking about? Junebug, I'm into it. Let's go with that second one. Well, maybe I still have the knack. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published, from The Billionaire's Bidding to Fields of Longing, real hot bodice-ripping stuff, you know? I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment, just me and my thesaurus steaming up the windows. Conway, why did you stop writing? Or Shannon to Ezra, I'm not sure you should be listening to this kid. Let's go with Conway. Why'd you stop writing? You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. I thought I might be able to do something with that, inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes. So I went back to the university and I studied human-computer interaction, and then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. In my off hours, I played around with the doomed love story at the core of our little simulation. That seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex, and now our work is never done. We don't even have to add any new functionality. The bugs just grow on their own. It's too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. A woman in a tattered cardigan looks furtively at the other people around the fire. Let's go speak with this old man. So Donald is another person that we've heard before. Donald was one of Lula's, the installation artist Lula's artistic partners, possibly also romantic partners. Donald puffs on a smoldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Donald softly, I don't know what tune this is, and I'm not going to try to make one up. Where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? What's that sound? Says Junebug. Oh, you caught a verse in my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth. Something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we packed on crystal radios in the boiler room. In old Kentucky, where my love a lovely home did build for me, and where the old green river runs through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. And from there on, it's all meandering rivers and romantic greenery, and that is, um, what were we talking about? Shannon, what's that computer over there? Looks pretty vintage. Conway, we're a bit lost actually. Let's let Shannon go. What's that computer over there? Looks pretty vintage. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat up mainframe exhumed from a university basement and left in this cave to rot or to flower. No, it's no ordinary computer. I've modified it extensively, and in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. That's to say nothing of the software, but you look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffused base transistor circuitry? Uh, I don't know the answer to this question. I presume Shannon does, so whatever we pick would be accurate. Sounds like it would short circuit or the mold would burn up. Sounds like it would short circuit? Certainly, but not all of it. Some moldy filaments are more or less conductive than others, and it grows in nonlinear, chaotic patterns. We can guide it a bit through a simple application of classical horticulture, but we can't produce specific results, only tendencies. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. But we are but mere gardeners in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels, boundless and bare. The caves stretch far away. We are too late. Always too late. Did you say something? I'm just interested in the mold computer. The mold computer. Oh, Xanadu! You heard about it. Perhaps you've read about it in a journal. It's been years since I published anything. Xanadu has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in my article, Literary Multitudes, Hypertextual Narrative as Post-Structural Witness. Evolved and then deteriorated. Donald sighs dramatically and takes a puff from his pipe. September stretches its right arm and takes a swig from its jug of tea. I'm afraid you are too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitries, Xanadu blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted, and then all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? Uh, Conway, I drive deliveries for a small antique shop and we're closing down. Shannon, I fix TVs and I'm about to lose the lease on my workshop. Ezra, my family disappeared. Julie and me don't know what to do. So, yes, is the answer to these questions. Who do we let say yes? My family disappeared. Julie and me don't know what to do. So, wandering without the ones who give us purpose, like a ghost. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there, in Xanadu. It's running on that glorious, dusty machine. Take a look, if you'd like. It's too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. Let's move on to Andrew. Do you know that? No, don't do that. Do you know that when I first... No, I mean, if this cave were larger, could it... No, I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space, the one we're standing in now? Conway, it seems endless. Junebug, it's a mess. Ezra, kind of spooky, but I'm not scared. Spooky for a baby. Let's go with Junebug. It's a mess. A catastrophe on this, or the site of some ancient catastrophe anyway? Sure, the evidence is all around us. The shadows make it hard to tell how big it is. Sure, but that's But they're not just shadows, right? I mean, they could be. They're projections, or maybe they're anatomies? How is that? Can you tell where they are now, surrounded by creeping anatomies? Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes? Ezra, okay, good. Now, you are standing at the top of a rocky peak. A tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomies of... Where are we? Oh, here again. How disappointing. Sorry to disappoint. No, it's my fault. I shouldn't be so attached to the future. It's always getting in the way of my work. It's better to be in the moment, carefully observing and documenting, but no attachment. Let me give you an example. I was a grad student studying statistics when I started working with Donald on this project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do the descriptive writing, someone who would appreciate the cave descriptions as real labor instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donald warned me it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer, and I've put in the hours, believe me, I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I have transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They can only be entered with precise, faithful detail, and that's all I know how to write. And all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. There is a gate. A massive gate constructed out of scavenged materials blocks passage down the far side of the spire. We can continue in a circle around the apparently pile of burning monitors. Roberta, the kingdom is in peril. Roberta laughs. Well, what else is new? Ezra, where's the kingdom? You're in the throne room. There are 3 legendary treasures hidden throughout the castle that will restore these ruins to their former glory. What do they look like? She's messing with you, kid. Roberta laughs. Enchanted jewelry, talismans, a magic mirror that prevents the future, a magic shield that protects the bearer from age, a magic chest that's always filled with... I never went to the university. I was an independent scholar. It means I took to the public libraries like a beachcomber. I studied fairy tales, and then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills, rubbed leathering elbows with academics, scraped black mold from cave walls. Finally, I now carried the firewood into senescence. The kingdom is in peril. Can we go further this way? We can, but it takes us back to Donald. Whereas in front of us there is Xanadu. Let's look at it before we interact. Baffling control panels are sheltered from the elements with a worn tarp. A closet-sized wall of knobs and wires looms behind the machine, humming faintly. An electric typewriter is the only easily recognizable component. How do you think we get it started? Can this old thing? Maybe there's a hand crank around. Oh, it is a run key. Act 3, Scene 5. Xanadu. A stately pleasure dome decreed. I used to know Kubla Khan off by heart. It's been a really long time since I've tried that. A oscilloscope in front of us is trying to show us the It's trying to show us a title screen and a picture of a cabin, but it's clearly not working well. There's a text box where Xanadu is trying to hand us dialogue, but it is also garbled. Ha! This thing is in really rough shape. Do these switches do something? Conway flips an unlabeled switch. Does not appear to have made it better. Okay, that's worse. Try typing help. Conway typing help. More unparsable dialogue. In blood quotes. East-west is visible in this text box, but again, it's pretty garbled. I'm going to turn that down in the mix a little bit because it's a very sonically unpleasant experience. Lula is in there in capitals. And apparently the Lula on the oscilloscope is speaking, but we don't get to really read that. Shannon, did that say Lula or Junebug? Time for some percussive maintenance. Conway thumps the side of the machine with his palm. Shannon, oh, I have my portable degausser with me. Old systems like this one can build up a remnant magnetic field that sort of warps everything along whatever pattern it's settled into, you know? The degausser clears that up by suddenly shaking the magnetic field around it until it's uniform again. That's how I like to think of it anyway, like shaking a snow globe. Worth a shot. We hit the degaussing button. And again. Does not appear to have helped. Well, okay. That one probably says premature end of file, press any key to quit. This is a lost cause. What a piece of junk. Turn the in-game audio back up. Act 3, Scene 6. Back in the Hall of the Mountain King. Bizarre. What was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. We'll go ask him in a moment. I'm going to take the break first real quick. Before I do that, I want to take the opportunity to remind you that Black Lives Matter, that Indigenous lives and lands matter, the lives of people of color matter, that Congolese, Sudanese, Palestinian, Ukrainian lives matter. There are a lot of ways to stand in solidarity with your fellow travelers upon this earth, and we like to push for direct mutual aid as it helps people who are suffering right now suffer less, because people with a firm foundation under them don't have to have quite as big a lever to move the world. So on the break, I'm going to go to my social media, to the mutual aid hashtag, and boost what needs I can. I recommend that you have a look at mutual aid initiatives that exist in places where you operate, both online and in meat space. Because the only way we get out of this is through. And the only way we get through this is together. The southern accent's sticking around just a little bit more than usual. I feel it when I'm speaking. I'll have to deal with that on my own time, I think. while I'm on the break, maybe do a stretch or drink some water or have a snack, do whatever self-care is useful to you. And I'll do the same. I'll be back here in just a little while. Catch you in a bit. Hey, I'm back. I got some pizza during the break. I got a what the menu called a caprese salad pizza because it sounded good. What I sort of didn't realize, and that's on me, honestly, is that a caprese salad has as one of its main ingredient tomatoes, and so they're just like massive slices of tomatoes. I don't ordinarily like a tomato. It is fine on this pizza because it's cooked to a point where it's not. I don't want to denigrate a tomato necessarily for people who like tomatoes, but they are slimy and wet, and that's the thing I dislike about them. This is less slimy and wet because it's quite thin, and by the time it goes through the cooking process, it's sort of crisped up a little bit. Sorry, I should set that down. I picked up my phone to look at a thing, and then I started looking at a different thing. Let's go talk to Donald and see if he knows anything about how getting the computer that he seems to like so much fixed. It's going to be a walk. He's all the way on the other side of the computer pyre. Pyre's another really good one, by the way. So, you've seen it for yourself. What's left of it? It's at the end. It's the chalky bones of a beautiful dream. And you can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? There was so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms, so the birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions, the bats could learn to sing, and then it began to crumble when the strangers came. At first we only heard them, walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering and clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working song, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. And then we caught a glimpse of one. What'd they look like? They looked like... Oh, no. It's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous. They're strange. I should never have tried out with them. They were always too much for me, but it's too late now. If I'd listened to Lula? Lula Chamberlain? Yeah, of course. Oh, do you know her? How do you know her? Oh, it was a long time ago. All this, you see, just look at it. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together, did you know? Lula and Joseph and I. Lula's gone from here, but Donald points across the cave with his pipe. It's still in there, in Xanadu. I don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damn tangled highway, but Xanadu... pardon me. But Xanadu, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle, a shrine to perfect simulation. Until but maybe those weird interlopers destroyed my sanity. Perhaps they know how to fix it. It may be dangerous. I've spent many eager seconds to negotiate with them to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines, crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees from rock to crystal and then to mud, and then you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now, leave me alone. I still have a bit of mold in my pipe and a few dreams left. Act 3, scene, what, 5, 6, 7? Roman numerals. Where the strangers come from. I mean, that's just a graveyard. That's nothing but a graveyard. Pardon me. Um, yes, indeed, a graveyard. Oh, we can click and get ourselves out of this massive mausoleum at center. Good. Well, this can't be right. It looks like an old church. It's muddy. Yeah, that's what he said. Crystals and then mud. Okay. I want to stay outside. Why? I think I saw a lizard. I'll stay with him. Okay, we'll make it quick. Ezra can now look around at all sorts of things and speak to Junebug. So let's do that. You find any lizards? One, but it went under a rock. Yeah, that's lizards for you. Why do you dress like a punk? Punk. No, what's a punk dress like, kid? Can you tell me? I dress like Junebug, specifically. I want to be specific. I think you are. It's the middle of the night, and here you are in a graveyard. Any other kid your age would be in bed. You just got to make choices and then own them. You think I was born this foxy? I came off the assembly line about a half foot shorter and all gray. No eyes. They were going to have us clearing out the old mine. It doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water, a bunch of gray shadows shoveling and hammering invisibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, old tape player. We hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over and over. And we knew we weren't miners. We slipped out onto that road, just these two featureless shadows, and ever since that night we've been detailing, coloring in, specifying. I feel a bit more like myself every day. I feel more like myself when it's just me and Julian. Well, there, now you're getting specific. Oh, I should have had Ezra look at all the other things. He can't anymore. Conway and Shannon have come back. Hey, there you are. What'd you find in there? It wasn't... Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. It doesn't matter. Right. Okay, we got what we need. Let's go. Act 3, scene 5, 6, 7, 8. Hall of the Mountain King. We can just look at Andrew and Amy, but we can speak to Donald, so let's do that. Trace an orbit round the road and close your eyes with holy dread, for we on mold and whiskey fed and drank from rivers down below. found your strangers. We know how to fix your damn machine. Not sure it was worth it. Oh! Soon the visitors will return. What have you found? They say you need to type in a specific phrase to restore it. They say you need to unplug it for a while. They say you need to scrape the mold off of the timing crystal. They say you need to unplug it for a while. Unplug it! Of course, restore the software to its initial state. Let it course again through the moldy circuits, fresh and rejuvenated and ready to thrive. Well then, unplug it! By all means, do not hesitate. Unplug the machine. Just click the button to take the long walk all the way back around the computer pyre, back to the oscilloscope that Xanadu is running on. I'm just gonna eat these crusts, these pizza crusts, while I wait for Conway to sort of shuffle his way over. Okay, so I'll just unplug it and wait a minute, I guess. Weird. Just following instructions. Here you go. Act 3, Scene 9. Xanadu. We do still have the degauss button, but it is much clearer. We can see the word Xanadu on the oscilloscope screen. At end of road. It shows a sort of vector drawing of walking up to a, we'll call it a brick cabin. You are standing at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. Shannon, check out the building. Ezra, go into the forest. I'll just go into the forest. Enter forest. That's not something you can enter. Just have a direction. North. In forest. You are in open forest with a deep valley to one side. Can we climb a tree? Climb tree. I don't think there's much to be achieved by that. Sorry. Can we dig a hole? Dig hole. You can't see any such thing. Pretty limited vocabulary. South. You're in forest. Hey, it's a maze. Southeast, northwest. Hang on, I know this one. Lost Woods. So, north, west, southwest. So let's go north. North. You're in forest. Lula is here, soldering replacement components and a small handmade radio. Oh, we should talk to her. Ask Lula how she is doing. Hi, Donald. I'm getting the strangest interference out here. I've been tuning the radio's circuits gradually as we go, swapping capacitor values and tweaking resistor networks. It was working for a while, but everything I can pick up sounds so distant and muffled. Lula hands you the radio. Well, maybe you'll have better luck You're good at this stuff. Just don't forget to give it back. West? West. You're in forest. Joseph is here, tapping with a small stylus on a modified pocket braille slate. A small gray kitten, no more than a few weeks old, dozes comfortably on top of his knapsack. Backpack. Why did I think it said knapsack? I'm not sure. Maybe he has something to say? Donald, I was just transcribing your footsteps. Sounded like... Joseph runs his finger along the index card he's been tapping on, from right to left. Long, weary song, drearily gone, dearly gone. You beat a melancholy shuffle through these woods, Donald. I've been noting down the sound from the forest with an ear for speech and an inborn filter for poetry, I suppose. So maybe it's me being melancholy after all. I'm eager to see what the poetic subsystem makes of the punch cards. South? At edge of hole. The vector drawing on the oscilloscope is now some very basic looking trees surrounding indeed a massive hole. You are at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to rock as the ground sinks into darkness. The computer tied to your upper back slickens with sweat in the afternoon sun. The rope slung around your shoulder has slipped from the strap of your backpack, sticking uncomfortably against the collar. Go down into the hole, that seems pretty obvious. Lean in a bit and check it out. Yell into the hole first and see if they're pirates. Yell. I only understood you as far as wanting to yell. Yell, any pirates down there? No response. Sorry kid, you're batting 0 today. At least we know there's no pirates. Lean in a bit and check it out. Down. The cave walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. You lose your footing and fall to your death. Rip. Your score was 0 out of a possible 8,192. What? Oh, got an achievement. You died. You may continue or quit. Continue. Try using the cloak to climb down safely. Tie rope to tree. The rope is tied snugly to a tree trunk. Down. Your feet slip a few times on the slimy rock, but you remain stable. Lula and Joseph descend carefully after you. In a bed quilt. A vector drawing of a cave system we'll go with. It's in fact probably this cave system. The one that Conway and Co are standing in outside the computer. You are in bed quilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph and Lula remove the computer equipment they are carrying on their backs and begin setting up. That's the last trip, so everything's down here now. Say something back to her. Say something back. You make an awkward joke. Don't be so morbid. Lula looks pensive. This is the scene that we saw earlier in the museum that was showing Lula's art installation. The one that was a tape machine stuck to a wall was this. Junebug, what's the gear they're carrying? Shannon, ask her about the cave. Ezra, ask her where the treasure is. Junebug, what's the gear they're carrying? Ask Lula about gear. Sure, Donald, we may as well take inventory. I've got the tape machine and synthesizer parts we borrowed from the School of Music. It's all tuned up to my voice, so we won't have to type so much. Joseph has his slate and the punch cards he's transcribed from the poems we read in. He's got the typewriter and the paper tape reader. And you've got the CRT display. How's your back holding up? Ask her where the treasure is. Ask Lula where the treasure is. Huh, if we knew that, we wouldn't have to set up down here. I know you think this environment will help with our project, get us in touch with a deep romantic reverence for some kind of profound and natural spookiness, but I was more comfortable in our lab. The university picked the worst time to cut our funding. Typical institutional stinginess and academic politics. I mean, I felt like we were getting really close to something. Anyway, I don't know if it's sustainable down here, to live and work here together. Joseph looks uncomfortable, jealous. Hey Donald, can you help me wire up these generators? I'll assemble the synthesizer, but I could use some help with the serial interface if you have time. You hear an unfamiliar echo from a tunnel to the east. Wire up the generators, or maybe if we help Lula, she'll have more to tell us. Maybe if we help Lula, she'll have some more to tell us. Help Lula. Thanks, Donald. I can never remember which color lead goes to which pin. Lula begins unpacking a box of wires and terminals. Do you think there are paintings down here? Cave paintings, I mean. Maybe some old pottery shards from when the world was young and early men and women huddled in these caves. I think cultural fossils are the saddest fossils. Sadder than animal remains. We might come across a petrified mollusk or a partial dinosaur footprint, and we say there was a point of contact here where a body touched the earth, and maybe that there's a little bit of evidential garbage. The life who owned that body never cared, and has moved on anyway. And that's the end of it. But suppose I shine my lantern on one of these walls, and I see a crude painting, thousands of years old, 2 men and a woman, charcoal and blood on rock. Someone put that there, to keep something on the rock after she passed. A hope or a relationship or a moment, a worry maybe, a regret. She made a painting to keep something alive for her, but like that dead mollusk and that itinerant dinosaur, she had to move on. Whatever it was is gone, and now we're looking at this painting, this dangling copy with no original. You were interrupted by the ominous echo of a grating, scraping sound from the east, louder than before. What in the hell was that? Let's check it out. In tunnels. A continually advancing series of launched around the shapes. You rush down the tunnel with Joseph and Lula close behind. Shannon, that got kind of intense back there. Junebug to Ezra. How do you like all this, kid? That got kind of intense back there. No wonder they're still thinking about it. The tunnel narrows, and soon you find yourself crawling on your hands and knees. Navigating the tunnel gradually becomes more awkward as smooth rock gives way to jagged, crystalline structures. Scratches and taps echo from the end of the tunnel, some short and piercing, some slower and groaning as if dampened by water. The tunnel opens into a large room. In Crystal Room. A tunnel full of crystals, but now there are shapes of wireframe skeletons. You are in a large, irregular chamber. The walls, floor, and ceiling are covered with crystalline projections. Strangers are here, scraping black mold from the crystals. They look up when you enter. One of them seems about to speak. Ezra, finally! Junebug, better run, Shannon. Let's listen to what he says. Let's listen to what he says. The stranger reaches for a box he's carrying and presses a plastic button. The box whirs to life, and a crackly voice blurts something unintelligible, then slows to a deep gurgle. He looks at his companions momentarily in confused disappointment. Then he returns his awful gaze to you. Joseph flees through a tunnel to the north. Lula flees through a tunnel to the northeast. Follow Joseph or Lula? Let's follow Joseph. Run north. Joseph scrambles across outcrops of crystal as you struggle to follow him in the dark. He calls back breathlessly. What? What happened to Lula? Are you back there? Stay and look for her, or keep going. Stay and look for her. You can't look for Lula. You can't see any such thing. Donald, you have to find her. Make sure you find her. Joseph climbs through the cave into the darkness. Conway, typing, look for Lula. You can't see any such thing. The strangers return to their work, scraping the crystals. There is no sign of Lula now. You should leave. In Bedquilt. You're in Bedquilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph is here, panting for breath. Damn, did they follow us? Where's Lula? Shannon, he seems pretty scared, or may as well wait, or Junebug, search for her. Search for her. I only understood you as far as wanting to search. You have to be more specific. Down one of the tunnels with the equipment, back outside with the equipment, I think. Search equipment. The various computer and audio equipment cast angular shadows into the tunnels as you scan slowly across the pile. Nothing. Down one of the tunnels? You select a tunnel at random. Your cavern illuminates several sets of footprints on the moldy cave floor, but they are impossible to identify. Lula climbs down from the rope still tied above. Hi, Cherry. This looks like a cool text adventure. It is a cool text adventure. I'm sitting here trying to think about how to encapsulate what has happened in the story so far for it to be useful to you. Conway and Company got off of the metaphysical highway onto the real highway. Their truck broke down. They were picked up and towed by a couple of robot musicians. Needed to get back onto the metaphysical highway. Did that, and now they are in a cave system playing a text adventure that's made by letting crystals grow mold. Everything I just said was accurate, but I feel like I'm missing some nuance. Lula climbs down from the rope still tied above. Is that you, or is it more shadows? Lula advances carefully. It really is you, isn't it? I got lost out there in the tunnels. For a while I thought I was running in circles, or some kind of labyrinth. Every rocky wall and floor looked the same. That's cool. Also, you're a robot. I am robot, and this game is one of the reasons why I am robot. This game has one of my, like, Junebug is one of my favorite robots, and I am not going to lie to you. I copped a certain degree of my current worldview from what this game presents. Your influences are your influences, right? I hope you're having a good day. I hope that is not too terribly cold where you are, because apparently the cold has sort of swept across our entire great nation. I'm gonna take Lula's line from the top. It really is you, isn't it? I got lost out there in the tunnels. For a while, I thought I was running in circles or some kind of labyrinth. Every rocky wall and floor looked the same. Finally, I ended up here. I hid out for a bit, waiting for you. I heard voices, but I wasn't sure. Not after what I've seen. While I was out there, I spent some time on the Zero. What? Why? Joseph, it's different than what we've heard. It's like a real place. They pick up garbage, they deliver mail, they go to work and church. My most vivid memory is a parade of images, like a waking dream or a slide lecture I'll never understand. A television, a scarecrow, a crystal, a feather, a sandwich, CRT monitor, bottle, anchor. Joseph seemed agitated. It's only a little cold now. That's good to hear. We should ask her more about it, or what's up with Joseph? We should ask her more about it. Ask Lula about the Zero. It's calling to me, Donald. It seems important. Important? It doesn't matter now. Damn it, I'm leaving. To hell with all of this. Whoa, we should stop him. Stop, Joseph. You shout something at Joseph about the project you were working on together. You'll die in these damn cold caves. But what about those men? You know they'll come back. We can find somewhere to start a fire. We can hide from the strangers. We can find somewhere to start a fire. Suggest finding somewhere safe to start a fire. You shout something at Joseph about going deeper into the cave. Did you hear their voices? They're not... They'll find you, but not me. I'm going back to the surface. Stop! Your stupid fight is ringing through the whole damned cave. Joseph is right. We can't stay here. I'm leaving too, but I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon and I'm heading down the Zero. I think we need her to say, make sure she takes us with her. Get Lula's attention. You plead with Lula about your continued collaboration. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail and then you can see what your damned machine does with it. Lula and Joseph have left. In tunnels. Abandoned by your collaborators, your confidants, your companions, the only two among your colleagues with whom you've ever trusted the gift of your friendship. That's pretty thick. Sounds like this beardo had his heart broken. You wander the tunnels alone, dragging along the components of your unrealized masterpiece, combing the underground passage for a new site in which to realize your vision. Sounds like a genius. How do you mean? Wordy or vain? Vain. Vanity, ain't it the truth? My Aunt Remedios, before she got into the whole ethnomusicography thing, she was a painter, mostly nudes in oil. She had this model, I'll never forget him, big, classically physical guy. Looked like he was about to storm Troy, made everyone call him the Colonel. Weaver and I saw this guy naked a lot. He couldn't help it. He was always posing somewhere in the house, chasing the light from room to room while Aunt Remedios made a sketch of his profile or worked on the right mix of pigments for his abdomen. The Colonel had this magnificent hair, long black hair that ran down to just the bottom of his shoulder blades. One evening he was standing next to an open window in the back of the house. The sun was setting. It was early spring, I think. It was kind of windy. Aunt Remedios was trying to get his hair right. She kept rearranging it, like half in front and half behind, running over his shoulder and laying across his chest in this very specific way. But it itched him or something, and he'd do this weird, indignant shuffle thing, or the wind from the open window would push it around, or he'd start and turn his neck when we or I ran by and everything would be tangled again. So the final product of it was this swirl of black lines billowing around the top of his neck. The weird thing is, I don't even remember his face now, just that black swirl. Probably the best one she ever painted. Hall of the Mountain King. Which is the physical location where Conway and them are now. A metaphysical, the zero's weird. After what may have been years, you stumble out of the tunnel into a cavernous open space. Stalactites adorn the ceiling like grotesques. In the center of the room is an enormous rocky spire. This is where you will set up your equipment and establish your legacy. And now it's showing a vector drawing of the oscilloscope that we are playing this on. Now is the time to continue your work. Xanadu, Research Assistance 0, Realism Index 37, Romance Index 2, Mold Coverage 0. Those are all percents, by the way. You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to a task, or sleep until tomorrow. Hire a new research assistant. Uploading job advertisement to university message boards. You have hired Mary Ann, who studies fine art. Assign assistants to a task. You may assign research assistants to debugging, transcription, or speculation. How about speculation for our fine artists? Assigning available research assistant to speculation. Hire a new research assistant. No new applicants. Try again later. I guess let's sleep. Mary Ann muses about the love lives of fungal colonies. It is now time to continue your work. Your mold coverage is way too low. I don't disagree with you. Realism Index 32%, Romance 22%, Mold Coverage 8. You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to a task, or sleep until tomorrow. Let us hire a new assistant. You have hired Roberta, who studies fairy tales. Oh, she's probably named after Roberta Williams, huh? Of King's Quest fame? What are the other names of Donald's research assistants? Andrew and Amy and there was one other, but it's not clicking. Assign assistance task. How about debugging? You have 2 research assistants available today. Assign how many to debugging? 1. Assign assistance to a task. Transcription. No, don't. I presume I can't hire another one today. It's going to tell me to, yeah, try again later. So, sleep. Roberta fixes some weird math with some weirder math. Marianne extensively notates tunnel diameter as a function of length. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Now is the time to continue your work. The mold coverage jumped all the way up to 17%, as did the romance index. No, romance index is down, but the realism index is higher. Speaking of higher, let's hire a new assistant. You've hired Weaver, who studies mathematics. That is Shannon's sister. Assign assistants to a task. Let's just, since we have 3, let's go for 1 of each. One to debugging, 1 to transcription, and 1 to, what was the third one? Speculation. I didn't do that, I slept instead. Weaver identifies a bug with the oxygen level simulation, but is unable to fix it. Roberta summarizes the migratory patterns of bats through the tunnels. Intruders. The strangers are doing something to the equipment, but you can't make out what. The strangers being the wireframe skeletons that are now behind the oscilloscope inside the oscilloscope. You hide behind a rock until they leave. With trepidation, you emerge from your hiding place hours later. I'm not convinced this is getting us any closer to the 0. Let us hire a new assistant. You've hired Greg, who studies architecture. Assign assistants to a task. Let's put 2 people on debugging, and then 1 person each on speculation and interpolation? What was it? Transcription. I don't like that they've got skeletons coming around to touch the computer. I completely fucking agree with you. I've played this game before and know why those skeletons are coming around to touch their computer, and that makes me like it even less. Greg makes adjustments to the echolocation algorithm. Bats now fly normally instead of getting hung up on each other's wings and clustering together like horrible leathery tumbleweeds. Marianne widens tunnels slightly to reduce the need for extra crouch commands. Roberta carefully transcribes the sounds of dripping water in all their variations over a period of several hours. Weaver posits that nature, not reason, is the master of the mystery. Weaver follows the strangers into the tunnels. She doesn't return, but neither do they. Now is the time to continue your work. Let's hire someone new. Uploading job advertisement to university message boards. You have hired Rick, who studies library sciences. I sort of wish I could speed through these a little faster, but we are just going to be hiring and then assigning. I did not mean to try to hire again. I knew it wasn't going to work. Rick fixed bugs. Roberta types up some lurid imagery from a dream journal. Greg transcribed experiences. Marianne makes a convincing argument for the edibility of stone. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Now is the time to continue your work. Maybe we should try to start over or something? This doesn't seem to be helping. Try to quit and start over. Ezra, I want to keep playing. Come on, kid, we've got stuff to do. Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. That was a rhetorical question. Quit game? I only understood you as far as wanting to quit. Maybe we have to lose or die somehow and we just start over? Ezra, eat the lamp, Junebug. Smash the computer. Eat the lamp. Eat lamp. Don't be ridiculous. I guess we can keep playing. You have hired Amy, who studies human-computer interactions. Assign 2 people to be debugging, 2 people to transcribing, and 1 person to speculation. Well, it didn't do that, it did a different thing. Wait indefinitely. Time passes. Research assistants come and go. You don't encounter the strangers again, but sometimes you can hear the uncanny echoes of their voices off in the tunnels. Years pass. Mold accumulates. You and the remaining research assistants take the burning, disused equipment in the center of the room. The black mold is intensely flammable and makes an excellent catalyst. It leaves behind a sweet, narcotic perfume. One night you have visitors, outsiders, different ones. Then, later that night, an old friend. You really did go deeper into the caves, says Lula. Premature end of file. Press any key to quit. Huh. Scene 10. Hall of the Mountain King. True to the computer's word, Lula has shown up. Who do we speak to first? Is speaking to one of them going to stop us from speaking to the other? Let's talk to Donald. Oh no, they're speaking together. Lula to Donald. You really did go deeper into the caves. Well, you were easy enough to find. I've met a few of your former assistants. One can't help but hear things. So this is what became of our project. Oh, I've made some additions. Joseph stole the data tapes for the first half, so I've had some blank spots to fill. Yes, I know. He published his version, actually. I'm sorry to report that it's a bit tediously sentimental. Shannon to Lula. We've been looking for you. So you found the address data. Just pass it over to Donald here. Donald, will you be a dear and crunch these numbers? We're trying to sort out a street name collision. Dogwood Drive. Wasn't the Bureau gonna process it? Oh, I insist. I have cycles to spare. I'll just pack my pipe and get to it. I should only be an hour or so. Andrew will carry it over to... I'll be at the Bureau for the rest of the night. Just mark it private materials for the attention of Senior Clerk Chamberlain. How do we get to the bureau from here? The bridge! Yes, the bridge, through the gate over there. Donald, the sentimental. Oh, now we too recede into history. Good to... Good night, Donald. Lula to Shannon. Meet me at the bureau, and we'll get you on your way. Head counterclockwise to the cathode ray, then turn around. Then it's just clockwise until you find the bureau. Between us, I think you should drive. Can we now kick open this gate? Nope, it gladly opens for us. The gate is open. Let's head down. I think the chorus is back. Yeah, Johnny and Blue are still waiting for us down by the bridge. Let's begin by talking with Blue. Thanks for waiting, Blue. You're gone a bit longer than expected. It'll be okay, Blue. This is Johnny and Junebug speaking. What happened up there? I'm actually not sure. Very mysterious, man. They are ready to leave. So it's what, counterclockwise? So we reach the cathode ray, which I guess is past the rope, and then we turn around. Oh, there's the cathode ray. So wait, do we need to hit the button that says turn around? I think that's the case. Past the tape recorder. The cat carrier. The backpack. Well, there's the tape recorder again. Did we go too far? Or did we not turn around fast enough? There's the cat carrier again. And the backpack. I think I fucked this up. Nope, there are children, apparently. About a dozen children are gathered in a shallow, dry basin to the side of the road. They are seated on overturned pots and pans arranged in 3 configurations. One group of 5 children are clustered to the right. One group are arranged loosely in the center, all facing an older girl who sits on top of 3 pans stacked together. The boy at the head of the arrangement looks sternly down upon another child. A younger boy kneeled on the stone floor without a pot to sit on. A spare stock pot, perhaps belonging to the younger boy, is set to the side. Sit in the center, sit on the right, sit next to the younger boy. Or stand next to the younger boy. Let's stand next to the younger boy so they're not alone. Ezra stands next to the younger boy. The older girl nods solemnly to Ezra. The older girl takes a wide green leaf from the floor next to her and pretends to read off a list of charges. The younger child is accused of making agreements for trading card exchanges, which he was not able to honor. The judge asks for a witness to testify. The boy describes the participants and events depicted on the trading card he was to receive, and makes related claims about the defendant's nature. Ezra is prompted to argue on behalf of his client. Claim mistaken identity or prejudice. Mistaken identity. Ezra makes a case for mistaken identity. The judge invites the jury to examine the defendant more carefully. The defendant slyly rearranges his hair. The jury is sequestered a few feet away and returns with a verdict of not guilty. The groups of children reconfigure themselves and a new trial begins, with the former defendant now as judge. Okay. The rope. The cathode ray, so we turn around there. The sprocket. Okay, so we did do it wrong because these are new landmarks. The anchor. Bicycle. Feather. The wheelbarrow. The antlers. The scarecrow. And back to the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces. I might not do the intermission because it's like 11 o'clock right now. But I am going to finish this bit. Junebug and Johnny have changed their looks again. Junebug is out of her road jacket and into a business-like white t-shirt, black skirt, and I can't tell if those are like white thigh highs or just her legs. Anyway, or not thigh highs, but like hose. And Johnny is in a blue suit leaning against the motorcycle. Johnny speaking to Blue. Got the time, Blue? Nah, you don't care about that. Maybe I should be more like you. To reception, where we will click the bell. Oh, there she is. Here you are. Marianne has the rest of the evening off, so I'm minding the desk. You're not too busy? If I'm in the middle of something, I just let the phone ring. It's soothing, in a way. The results just came in by courier. Good news. Donald and his assistants were able to sort through the noise. I had Rick cross-reference their results against some of our records. He found a corresponding mail stop on the Echo River route. As it happens, the night ferry is scheduled to make its stop here shortly. The ferryman carries in the mail and collects the garbage as well. I'm sure you can catch a ride out that way. You're welcome to wait here. I have to get back to packing. You going somewhere? I might. I'm feeling impulsive, and I'd like to be ready. Maybe back to Mexico? It's been years. They still have one of my sculptures in a museum down there, did you know? A big ugly iron thing. Trying to have it scrapped anyway. safe travels, and try to stay out of the water. It's colder than it looks, and deep. I think we... Yeah, the game does not wish us to go farther than this. We can't go back up to the bare floor on floor 3. Um, all we appear to be able to do is wait. So let's do that. How long do we have to wait? Oh, who knows? Okay, what happened? What? In the church, at the graveyard. You two came out of there all weird. What happened? It's okay. You can tell him it doesn't matter anymore. Fine. So we were in that graveyard. Oh, this is its whole own scene. I'm going to stop here because this is long. Um, where the strangers come from. It's long and it's also kind of intense. So we will come back to this on what, Thursday? I keep saying Thursday, not Thursday, Friday. Gonna go ahead and quit here. Exiting the game. Oh, thanks for streaming. Thank you for stopping in. I'm sorry I wasn't particularly chatty, but the game is, uh, it's very chatty. Um, do you have anything you want to say before I sign off? Not really. I'm gonna have to look ahead because this next bit is the bit I was thinking of where uh, everything starts to get a little more, just a little more intense. Not incredibly so, but enough that I feel I'll have to warn for it specifically. So yeah, that's gonna be the stream. Appreciate you being here. I've been September of the Free Association, and yeah, the next stream's gonna be Friday, where we're gonna keep on with, pardon me, with this bit of Act 3. And yeah, till I see you next time, I love you. Please keep yourself safe. Find something to do and do it. I'll see you later.